So in this episode, I want to talk about how I got started in it all, why did I start inquiring into the economy and that sort of thing. And it was just a bunch of simple questions that kept on entering into my mind over and over. So which I've called the title for this one is The Simple Questions of the Economy, just some example, the ones I used to think of. And so the first one is like, I'm middle-aged now, so I've lived through a few bad periods. There was 1990s recession in Australia, and then we got the global financial crisis, and now we've got like the coronavirus pandemic, but our Australian economy was starting to go pretty bad even before the pandemic. So if we know so much about it, if these economists reckon they know so much about it, why does it always go bad? And then another one that was a constant was, pretty constant, is why can't we ever seem to get enough jobs? Why does it always have to be... And then, like, my father was unemployed when I was a kid and he wanted work, but yet he had a heap of trouble getting it. And people say, oh, it's always got to be tough. Apparently the world's tough. It's getting tougher. That's why the economy's going worse. Well, why? Why is it tough? Why was it easier before? Why is there, for instance, like, say China has high economic growth now. That's what Australian economists say that is the good thing. Well, why does China have more economic growth now? And why don't we? Why are these things, why do they change that way? So does it have to be tough? Can we have another setup? What's going on? And like, I'm an engineer by training. So, and engineers, we just love to solve problems, and we have our like various techniques. And I know, like at the accounts of a lot of economists, I have a few economist friends and stuff like that, and a lot of them, when they recount the most annoying people they ever encounter as engineers, because always when they encounter engineers always come along and lecture them and tell them that they know how to solve the economy and that sort of stuff. And well, given us engineers have done pretty well elsewhere, you can kind of understand why we think we'd have that confidence. Whereas economists, for instance, why does the economy keep going bad if you know so much about it? You never seem to answer this. Anyway, so another question is, where does population growth fit in? Like, everyone talks about economic growth, but they never really explicitly say, oh yeah, you need population growth to go along with economic growth, but I also don't see many countries with an explicit steady state population policy or even a population contraction policy. So I assume population growth comes along with economic growth, but then the question is, well, if you just do your simple physics, like a pie, the same size pie divided between more people is smaller pieces each. So does population growth help or does it hinder? Another one is, like, why does it seem like the good times, we always get told about, yeah, if we just do this in the economy, a bit of globalisation, that'll make it heaps better, or a bit of, free market, free trade, yeah, do some free trade agreements, that'll be better. We do these things, and then things don't seem that much better. Jobs seem about the same, wages seem about the same, so you've got to do this next thing. Like, why is the good times always at the pot at the end of the rainbow? Is it? Do these economists not actually know exactly how to get a good economy? Can they only go to a point and that's it, and they can't go any further? And if that's the case, why is that the case? So, yeah, coming back to my final question, the one that engineers ask themselves, why can't we figure it all out? Its basis has to surely be in physics. I can't see how you could say something like the economy couldn't have a basis in physics, and we already know a lot of physics. So we should be able to work it out. So why can't we? So this set of videos is my attempt to answer that and all the other questions I've ever had in my life in a quick and succinct way, so that an average public person could watch it and hopefully understand. Like, in a short period of time, the videos will maybe end up being an hour long in total, with each episode about 5 minutes. And hopefully in an hour I can get the average person in the public up to a good understanding of how the economy actually works, and so they have a good understanding of what the answers are to these questions. So I hope you'll keep watching along, and we'll see how we go.